Good morning, everyone. How are you guys doing today? Is it me or you guys are cold here? Right? I'm almost like freezing. It's so cold for me. Okay, so welcome to Lec 2001. If you're taking it for the first time, I'm also with you. I'm teaching it for the first time. So I'm kind of nervous actually. I'm nervous because I'm going to cover 5 months materials in only 4 weeks. So it's really tough. I can teach, but being able to learn, that's my concern. So if you think you are not a hardworking person or you don't have enough time to put behind this class, I'd suggest drop today to get at least some money funded from your tuition fee. If you drop it after a few days, yeah, you're not going to get any money back. Plus, if you have any summer job or if you have any heavy responsibilities that you cannot put enough time behind this class definitely is not for you. Trust me. This is kind of like half of 1030 and half of trigonometry. So if you only taken 1030, at least past few chapters, chapter 1, 2, and 3, I think will be kind of easier for you. And then chapter 4, 5 is trigonometry. So trigonometry is very fun if you understand. It sucks if you don't understand all. So again, I'm warning you. If you're not an hardworking person, please drop this class. Do not waste your time and break your brain for nothing. Okay? Take it in full or screen. Then you'll have a smooth semester. You can learn everything and you can get a degree. Here, I don't think how much you're going to, I don't even know how much you're going to learn, but you're going to spend so many hours behind this class. We have 27 exams. Homework. 27 homework on oil sign, and every homework has so many questions, at least 15 to 20 questions. There's a lot. Plus, you're going to have 2 quizzes, 2 exams, and final in 5 weeks. So every week you're going to have a quiz. The next week it's like exam 1, then quiz 3, quiz 2, and then exam 2. And then the last week is our final exam. So you can see how intensive this course is. So let me introduce myself. My name is Shahera Jannah. I'm teaching for almost 5 or 6 years here. So I'm not that new in the teaching field, but I'm very new teaching this class. So if you find me making many mistakes, it's because I'm too nervous teaching it for the first time. So in our course page, if you go to Bright's page, the first thing you're going to see is this first page. And the most important part here is the first thing, content, and then homework. So if you click on content, before actually content, let's go to our announcement. So I should look at student. So when you sign in, I think this is what you're supposed to see. The left panel is this, the right panel should give you the announcement. The first announcement is from me. And if you scroll down, everything else are from the department. So these are very important announcements. Okay, so from there, if you click on content, let me zoom this in. You go on the content. On the left panel, we have syllabus, playlist, notes, and then homework. Then we practice finals, and then extra problems. So from me, I have class playlist and pre-lecture notes, and everything else I'm from the department. So under syllabus, there are 2 types of syllabus. One is from the departmental syllabus. This is what it says here. The one department syllabus. This is from the department that posted it. And from me is the class one in PDF version, and the same thing in the Word version. I always post 2 things. So if you want to work on the Word format, you can work on that. Or if not, work on PDF, you can work on PDF. So every time I post something, I get to post both formats. Because for me, I can edit the Word, so I love Word. But for PDF, if you want to view it, then PDF is the best. Okay, so class playlist, it means I actually record my classes and then make them available afterward. So if any of you miss any materials or don't understand because you go too fast in class, you can re-watch the recording and then catch up with the materials. So if you want to watch the recordings, you click on the playlist and then you click on the class recording. It will take you to our class page. And then for pre-lecture notes, I actually pre-made my lectures before class. So I post them and all the lecture materials are in there. The only thing missing is the solution for the questions. So what I do is I go over questions in class. So I write the solutions with you. So I would suggest, since we don't have enough time to write down or copy everything in class, so you can copy them on your own time, and then during class, just do math with me. Okay. In this way, you can concentrate more instead of keep writing all the things you see on board. Instead of doing that, if you listen more and watch more, you'll actually learn faster. So for now, I posted chapter 1 in both PDF and Word format. Eventually, I'm going to post the rest of the materials. And then we have homework. I'm going to get it later. Before everything else, let's start the syllabus. So to do the syllabus, I'm using the PDF format. If you want to make it bigger, then you click on the 4 arrow and it will give you the entire page scenario. So we are going to meet 4 days a week for 5 weeks. Okay. So what is 4 times 5? 20. We are going to meet 20 days. In these 20 days, 3 days are exams. 2 exams, 1 final. So 4th, 2nd, 4th, and 5th week, Thursday you'll have your exams. And then first week, this week is the first week. Okay. So this week, Thursday, you're going to have your quiz 1. And next week, the 3rd week, Thursday, you're going to have your quiz 2. And then you have exam in every week. Every other week, I mean. Okay, so my office hour is Wednesday after class. Means if you want to talk about anything from this class or about your life or anything I really want me to listen to you, I'm all yours. I'll be here after class Wednesday. The book you're going to use is PreCalculus 11th edition by Ron Larson. You don't have to buy the physical book because if you buy the website, the book, the ebook, automatically comes with the website thing. Homework. See, 27 homework you're going to do in 20 days, in 20 lecture days. So 5 weeks, 27 homework. Every homework has at least 15 to 20 questions. Be prepared. Quizzes, I already mentioned, there will be 2 in-class quizzes, and I'll do them at the beginning of the class, so the rest of the class you can relax. Otherwise, if I give you at the end of the class, the entire class, you cannot pay attention because they're going to tell you about what will be the quiz, what will be the quiz. So that's why I prefer giving the quiz at the beginning of the class, and then we'll have quiz for like 15 to 20 minutes. I'm not planning to give you many questions, probably 3 questions or something. Yeah, 3 is better. From 3 lectures, 3 questions, and then the 4th day you have a quiz. 6 hours. So probably 3 questions in the quiz at the beginning of the class, so do not do it. 2 exams, 1 final. Since our class is 2.5 hours, so 2 hours, 2 hours, 30 minutes, I'm still deciding what to do on the exam days. Should I give you 1 hour exam and then 1.5 hour lecture, or 2 hours exam and then half hour lecture? I'm still deciding that. About the final exam will be 2 hours, not 2.5 hours. It's 2 hours, and how many questions? Around 40 questions. 2 hours, 40 questions. And you have most of the multiple choice with no partial credit, and only a couple non-multiple choice with partial credit. So probably 5 or 6 non-multiple choice from the 40 questions, and then the rest multiple choice with no partial credit. It means for they get it correct, you get full credit. If you get it wrong, it's 0 point. And you must show all the detailed work, correct work to get the credit. And also the bad news is that in order to pass this class, you must pass the final exam with at least 50 points. If you don't get 50 points, for example, if you get 48, 49, 48, 49, you still fail the class. So to pass this class, first you have to pass the final exam with at least 50 points. And then if you get 50, I'm going to count your quiz, exam, homework, attendance, everything. And overall will be 50 points. So if you get 60%, you pass everything. But you're not definitely looking for D, right? You're looking for something at least level. So for content. No makeup exam. We have only 2 exams. It's every Thursday, not every Thursday, I mean second and fourth Thursday, and the 5th Thursday, the final exam. We don't have time for a makeup, so you must be here in the exam days, and there is a makeup even if you miss them. It's very dangerous. Attendance is mandatory. If you're absent, well, maybe 1 or 2 days is fine because I'm recording, so you can able to at least watch them. But if you're absent for a few days, trust me, just watching recording is not enough. Being here, seeing me, my beautiful face, and then interaction, having an interaction with me, actually much more helpful than just watch the recording. And also you'll be able to talk to me after class, during class, anytime. You can see your peers. You can have fun here. What you're going to not get during watching the recording only. So I'll recommend only for 20 days, be here. Calculator. I think any scientific calculator is fine, but the department is recommending TI-30 XS. I have no idea what type of calculator is that. But we're not going to use many things that require a calculator. So just a basic scientific calculator will be fine. Our grading policy. The 2 quizzes you're going to take is 9% of the grade. The 2 exams you're going to take is 51% of the grade. The result homework, 27 homework with at least 15 to 20 questions per homework is 10%, and the final exam alone is 30%. Now, if you pass this class with all these requirements, then this is the grading table I'm going to use to calculate your grade. If you get anything below 60, it's F, and then above 60, you pass this class. If you have any type of disability, like if you need extra time during your exam and quizzes, then you go to the 2nd floor of this building to the FDS office, talk to them. They will accommodate you with some type of card or some permission, something, and then they will let me know, or you will let me know that you need that extra time, so I'll give you extra time. So if you do that, then you cannot take the exam here. If you cannot take the exam here, you're going to take the exam with them in their office. Academic integrity. The cheating will not be tolerated. Actually, last semester, in things happened. One of my students who always got the highest score in all the exams, I was so happy for them. And then on the 4th exam, I caught them cheating. So for the first timer, I just gave them warning. And then in the 5th exam, they did it again, despite my warning. So I took the exam, I gave straight 0, and then at the end, the student gets 0. He didn't even take the exam, the final exam. So he failed the class. So cheating is really bad. Maybe first I'm going to give you a warning. But after that, so you're really going to get a big grade in this class. Not only in this class, but most of the classes at Baruch. Academic support, if you need tutoring, you can go to the SAC, which is also second floor of this building. And then you can make online appointments with them, or you can go in person, I believe. Since it's summer, probably they're more lenient than fall and spring. Probably they have more tutors now or more time slots available. So I'll definitely recommend you to go to SAC for extra help. Because obviously I cannot understand everything in 2 hours, 30 minutes. And since I have to go very fast, so at least 30 to 40% of materials, you'll just be not sure. You will not understand at least 30 to 40% of the material I'm going to teach. So to cover those understand, not understanding materials, you definitely need some extra help. So go to them, they'll help you. And if you're a sick student, SEEK, not you, but sick students, then their office is also on the second floor of this building. You can go to them. They have their separate tutors, advisors, and everything. They'll definitely help you with everything you need. Okay, and this is our summer schedule. Fridays, we are off. We don't have any classes on Fridays. But the first Thursday is quiz 1, second Thursday exam 1, third Thursday quiz 2, fourth Thursday exam 2, and then in our fifth week, our final exam. So for the homework, we have chapter 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1 to 4, they are almost every sections in the chapter you have to cover, and for chapter 5, there are only 2 to 3 sections. So what I did for the homework, I made the due date on every Monday. So chapter 1 homework due Monday, which is 15th. Chapter 2 homework due on 22nd Monday. Chapter 3 homework on 29th, and chapter 4, 5 homework on 6th. So my plan is to have at least 2 days, at least 1 day to review. And I don't want to spend doing homework in these 2 days, because if you fail the final, there's no point of doing the homework. You're going to fail the class in the day. So the deadline for all the homework is fixed. I cannot give you any extension. Okay? Do not beg me for any extension. We don't have time. I don't want you to waste your time in these 2 days. Besides reviewing all the material you learned. Okay. Any questions so far? Great. Now let's go to our homework. To click on the homework, you can click here, or you can click on the left panel. Here, they are the same thing. And if you buy through their website by following the instructions, then you're going to pay less. And if you just buy directly from Cengage, then you're going to pay more. So Baruch has contacted them to help students get lower buying fee. So you definitely should use their instructions or to buy the access. But it's definitely not below 100. It's below 100. So I'm warning it. Now, once you follow the instruction and buy it, and for the second time, all you have to do is click on website, and then it will take you to Cengage directly to our web page. But you have to log in. Well, I'm an instructor. I don't need their confirmation. I can go directly. But for your case, you're going to register, and then you'll be able to go to our website from there, from Brightspace. Let me see the direction again, just in case. Oh, I should. Oh, because I'm a student view. Okay. Let me get out of the student view. Get the homework. Then sign. Okay, yep. So once you follow their direction to buy the access, actually fast choice is free. Okay. So basically you're spending your $100 for views only. So that's done. So once you buy it, once you have the access, you just click on other side, and then they will take you from Brightspace to the other side directly. And you're going to see your students. This is how you see things. If you click on current assignments, all 27, you'll see all their due dates on the right side, the homework on the left side. The one from section 1.3 to 1.9, all of them due next week, Monday midnight. How many sections? Let me count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 sections with at least 15 to 20 questions per section. I said at least, not at most, okay? It means it may have more. So to do the homework, you click on the left link and it will take you to the homework section. You see, I said at least 15 to 20. This one has 21 questions. So I think you don't have to do everything in one go. You can do part by part and then save it. And then it will save your attempts. And then when you do it next time, you can just do from whatever you left out from the previous time. And see so many questions, so many things. And you have 27 of these to do. Okay. Any questions so far? Any comments? Like how many is correct or not completion, correctness. I believe so, but how many? I have no idea. Let me check. You can actually check your attempts. Here somewhere. It should allow multiple attempts, but how many? Probably 5 attempts per question. Let me see my view. Huh? Does it take what? Mm-hmm. The highest one. The highest one. Oh. Mm-hmm. You know. Oh, 10. See, when you click on details, it will tell you how many total attempts you have, how many you tried, all those information, and how much points you have. So does every question have 10 attempts? Let's see. Okay. Homework 1 has 10 attempts for each. Not bad, 10 times. Quiz and exam, I did not maintain it. So probably not, because we have only 3 questions to do. So if you have full credit or 0 credit, most of you are going to fail anyway. So I have to give you partial credit based on my experience. Mm-hmm. But in the exam, since I don't have much time to grade them, so 2 part of the exam will be multiple choice, means no partial credits, and 1 part of the exam will be non-multiple choice with partial credits. I mean, multiple choice doesn't mean I'm going to give you choices. Okay? I'm just going to ask you the question. You're going to answer. If you get it correctly, good point. If you get it wrong, 0 points. Okay? The homework. Try doing your homework, guys. I'll say if you will enjoy if you do them together. So if you have friends to work with your friends, and then this will be easier. Okay. Anything else? Not now. Not for now, Junit. And also in Brightspace, you can see the due dates here. For every question, you see the due dates. Chapter 4 is July 6th, chapter 3 is June 29, blah, blah, blah. And with this, I'm done with introducing you to the class. Any question before I start? How many of you took 1030? Almost all of you, right? Great, great. So, the first chapter, actually the first chapter is 1030. Most of the materials from 1030. And what the most important topics which you are going to see in the final exam is noted on the left-hand side. We are going to talk about so many topics, so many things, but the most important parts are the linear function, specifically Paralle and perpendicular lines, and then application of linear function, finding x-intercepts, odd function, even function, domain, range, transformation of the function, inverse function, difference quotient, composite function. All of these are in the first chapter 1, and you're going to see many, at least one question from each of those important sections or important topics. So since I'm going to slide my pages quickly, if you're not done finishing, if you're not done copying my slides, I'll suggest for now, just take a picture. We don't even have to do anything because I already posted it on Brightspace. So you can leave some space on your note and then just go keep up with me. I'm trying to do as fast as possible so that you can have at least 2 days or 1 day to review. And once you review for the final, your memory will be fresh and you can take the final with a good memory. That's my plan. So that's how I'm going to go about kind of fast. Usually I'm not a fast person. I go slow with my process. I'm teaching 1022 also in the summer, which is 11 week class. And it's 2 hours every day. So I go slow with them because they have 11 weeks, enough time. But with you guys, it's only basically 4 weeks. Because if you count on the exams and then quizzes, combining them, the last week is gone. So if you count all those hours. So that's why if you're not done copying the slides, don't worry, everything is posted. You can rewrite them at your own pace after class or before class, from next class. Okay, so we are skipping section 1.1 and 1.2 goes later. For some reason, they start with 1.3. 1.3 talk about linear equations in 2 variables, means line with x and y. And we are going to learn how to find the slope, how to find the slope of a line, slope with given 2 points, how to find linear equation, parallel line, perpendicular line, all these things. These are not so important. I just listed what you're going to learn in this section. So line. So we all know what a line is, right? It's a straight line. And we have 3 ways of writing the same line. For example, our name, we're the same person, but either we can use our first name or last name, and some people have middle name. So we have 3 ways to introduce ourselves. Same thing, there are 3 ways to define a line. The first format is the standard form. In this format, we write ax plus b, ax plus by equals c. A, B, C, all these are real numbers. They could be fractional, they could be whole number, they could be decimal. The thing is, we have to have the variable x and y. Everything else are just numbers. The same line we can rewrite in slope-intercept form. It's called slope-intercept because you can see the slope of the line and the y-intercept of the line. This format is y equals mx plus b. That m is the slope of the line and b is the y-intercept of the line. Again, the same line we can write in the third format, which is called point-slope format. It's called point-slope because you can see the slope, and also there is one point from the line is inside that format. So we write it as y minus y1 equals slope times x minus x1. The x1 and y1 is the point from the line, and the m is the slope of the line. So x1, y1, m, all of these are real numbers. Now, what is slope? Well, slope is the steepness of your step when you walk from your left side to your right side. How steeply you are going? Are you going with a very steep steps, or are you going in a smooth surface, or are you going with a slow steepness? So the steepness is measured by the slope, and in mathematically we think slope as change in the y direction, means how you're changing your pace in a horizontal surface, but you divide it by how you're changing how you're moving from your upward and downward. No, the other way around. Yeah, y2. So the horizontal movement divided by the vertical movement. You count these two movements, whatever you get the ratio of their movement, and that is the slope. So it's changing the y divided by changing the x. Mathematically, we write changing the y means y2 minus y1, and changing the x means x2 minus x1. So if you have 2 points, x1, y1, x2, y2, just use the formula and you get the slope of the line. Well, since we know slope, now it's time to know how many types of slope we have. Well, we have 4 types of slope because we have 4 types of lines in our life. The first type of line is increasing. Means when you walk from your left side to your right side, you are moving upward. For example, when you climb up the stairs, you are moving in a increasing line. And for an increasing line, your slope is positive. Means you're moving in a positive direction. Then we have its opposite, negative slope. It means it's a decreasing line. So when you walk from your left side to your right side, if you climb down the stairs, you are moving in a negative direction with a negative steepness. So we have a decreasing line with negative slope. Can you guess the third types of line we have? So first type of line is increasing, then we have a decreasing line, and then guess horizontal line. So for example, the floor, when you walk on floors, it's a horizontal surface. So you have a horizontal line to walk on. And then since you are not moving up or down, that means your slope on the horizontal line is 0. So slope means how steep your direction is. So on the floor, there is no steepness. You're just moving this smooth surface, right? Smooth pace you're moving. So there is no moving up or moving down. So on a horizontal surface, our slope is 0. And what's the last type of line? mean increasing line, decreasing line, horizontal line, vertical line. That's our last line. So on a horizontal line, we do work from our left side to our right side. So we do have a slope, but that slope is 0. On the other hand, when you work on a vertical line, you're not moving from left to the right. You're moving straight up and down. So since there's no movement on the left and right, we cannot divide by that distance how you're moving from left to the right. So since we're not moving, we cannot divide. That's why any vertical line cannot have a slope. So we call it undefined slope, when the slope doesn't exist. In other words, our slope is so steep that we actually don't know how to count the steepness. It's just undefined. It's out of our reach. It's something that we cannot obtain by doing anything. Can you think of a scenario where we actually move in a vertical direction, only go either up or down, we never go left and right? Good job. Yep. In the elevator, we don't go left to right, you only go either up or down. And also when you climb mountains, you go only up and down. So the mountains and elevators are vertical lines, and they do not have any slope. So these are the 4 types of slopes with 4 types of lines. Now, for an increasing line, we have y equals mx plus b. Our m is a positive number. In a decreasing line, our equation is again y equals mx plus b, but this time our m is a negative number. For horizontal lines, we have only one formula. Y equals a number. There is no x in the horizontal line because we're not moving x direction. X direction means you're moving either up or down. Since we're not moving on the up or down direction, so there is no x in our equation. So it's y equals a number. For example, y equals 5, y equals 0, y equals -3. All these are horizontal lines. Similarly, the vertical line, we are not moving left to right, we are not moving horizontally, so there is no y movement. Since there is no y movement, our equation must have only x equals a number. X equals probably 5, x equals 0, x equals 100. So every vertical lines, they have only x equals a number. There is no y in them. And now comes another question. Suppose we have 2 points given to us, 12, 15, and 10, -3. We want to find the the slope of the line that will go through those 2 points. Since we are given the 2 points, so we can use the formula for 2 points. What's the formula of the slope using 2 points? That's the point slope format of a line. Here is it just find the slope. y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. So when you have 2 points, you just use this formula and then plug all the numbers. So these negatives are from the equations here. Now in the numerator, what do I write? What minus what? -3 minus 15. And the denominator, 10 minus 12. So what do you get on the numerator? 2 signs, same, so we keep the sign, but actually we add the number. Did you say 12? 18. And on the denominator, -2. Can we simplify? 9. So what type of line we get from these 2 points? Increasing, decreasing, increasing. Increasing line. Every time you have a positive slope, it means you're moving up. You are climbing up the stairs. Okay, one more. I says graph the line. I'm too lazy to graph the line. Well, actually, you can try. I have 1 point here and then 2 more points. Let me copy them real quick. -2, 5, and 3, 5. And then the next one is 3, 1, and 3, -1. Okay, find the slope for these 3 points. I mean, these 3 stacks of points. You don't have to walk alone. You can talk to your neighbors. Really? Who would like to try the first one? Volunteer for the first one. Anyone? Go ahead. -3, 1, 3, -1. -1 minus 1. 3 minus -3. Perfect. x1, y1, x2, y2. So what do you get on the top? And double negative turns into positive. So what do you get on the denominator? 6. Can you simplify? Both of these are divisible by 2. So you get -1 over 3. This is 3. Any question on this example? What type of line have this -1/3 slope? Increasing or decreasing? decreasing. Who would like to try B? The first example in the right page. Volunteer. Go ahead. What minus what? 5 minus 5. 3 minus minus 2. That turns into plus. So we get 0 over. Really? Think about this. You have $0. Okay? Means you have nothing. And I'm telling you, divide your $0 into 5 pieces. How much money you still have? 0. So this is what it means. We can divide 0 into million pieces. It doesn't matter. We have only 0. We have nothing. How about the last one? Would like to try the last one? -1 minus 1. 3 minus 3. Now this is undefined. Because when you have something, there is no way you can divide it into 0. For example, if you have 1 over 0, it means you have one, let's say $1, 1 pen, 1 something. And there is no way you can make this 1 pen into 0 pieces. Making it into 0 pieces may just make it disappear. We're not magician, right? We cannot disappear this nowhere. So 0 cannot be on the denominator. So anytime you have 0 on the denominator, the whole expression is undefined. It doesn't exist. We don't know how to do that. Okay, so you're done slope. Great. Now you're going to find the slope, x-intercept, y-intercept from standard form of a line. So finding x and y-intercept is easy. If you want to find x-intercept, you want to erase your y. So we just set y to be 0 and we work with x and the constant. For example, if we have ax plus by equals 0 and you're finding the x-intercept, you're going to disappear the y by setting y to be 0 and you're left with ax equals c. So your x-intercept is c over a. Whatever number you have for your constant, you divide that by coefficient of x, that's your x-intercept. For y-intercept, we did the other way around. You want to find the y-intercept, you have to keep your y. So you set the x to be 0, means you disappear your x and then work with your y. So when we have ax plus by equals c, we don't want to see your x because you're working with y-intercept. So we get by equals c. Then if you want to get the y alone, your y is c over a. So you have 2 ways of doing them. Either do everything or just simply remember x-intercept is c over a, y-intercept is b over a. Sorry, c over b. It is c over b. Oh, you have c over b. Sorry, c over b. So x-intercept is a constant divided by coefficient of x. Y-intercept is a constant divided by coefficient of the y. That's simple. Now for the slope, in standard form, we do not see the slope, but in the slope-intercept form, we see the slope. So what you can do is you can get the y alone. So we have ax plus by equals c. To get the y alone, we we subtract the x term from both sides. So we get by equals negative ax plus c. And then we divide by b because you have to get the y alone. y equals mx plus b has the slope. So convert your standard form into slope-intercept form to see the slope. So our slope is only the thing we have in front of x. That's the slope. So you don't have to do all this work. If you can remember, the slope is negative a over b. If you can remember these three expressions, then you don't have to show any work. All you have to do to answer this question is write m is negative a over b, and then substitute ab, simplify. For x-intercept, write it's c over a, so divide c by your coefficient of x, and then for y-intercept, write c over b, and then you just substitute the numbers. That's it. So you have longer ways of doing it, or just a shortcut, remembering these three things, and you're done. Where is the sign-in sheet? Did everybody sign in? No? Can you give it to you, or can you press that? Okay. Any questions so far? Now let's do some example. We are given a line in standard form, and we have to find the slope of the line, x-intercept, and y-intercept of the line. So let's start with slope. We know slope is negative a over b because you already tried that before. So you write negative a over b. Now the question is, in this line, what is a? How much is a? Good. A is 11. How much is b? Negative 8. And how much is c? 80. So negative a over b means negative what over what? 11 over negative 8. This negative comes from the formula. B itself is a negative 8. So you get double negative. So what's the slope of this line? Positive 11 over 8. Because if you try to solve for y, you are going to get negative a over b as the coefficient of x, which is the slope. So if you can remember these three simple expressions, you don't have to show any math. Okay, next comes x-intercept. X-intercept is c over the coefficient of x, which is a. So what do I write? What over what? 80 over 11. And can you reduce them? Definitely we are done. But you know, in your homework, they'll ask you for a point format. So write the same information, x equals to 11 over 80, sorry, 80 over 11 as a point format. Point. Now every point has two things, an x value and a y value. We know our x value here is 80 over 11. But what's the y value? 0. Good job. Every x-intercept has y0. Every y-intercept has x0. That's a rule. Why? Because x-intercept is the line where you're crossing the x-axis. So if this is an x-axis, this is an y-axis, This is x equals to -1. This is x equals to +1. This is y equals to +1. This is y equals to -1. If this is y +1, this is y -1. So exactly in the x-axis, how much is the y? 0. So that's why anytime you cross the x-axis, your y value is 0. Because above that, it's y positive. Below that, all the y's are negative. So exactly on the axis, x-axis, y must be 0. Same thing is the other one. If this is y-intercept, y-axis, and this is x-axis, we have x -1 here, x +1 here. So this is -1, this is +1. Then how much is the x exactly in the y-axis? 0. So every y-intercept has x0, every x-intercept has y0. Now our last question, the y-intercept. Y-intercept is c divided by coefficient of the y, which is b. So whatever what? 80 over -8. And now can you reduce this time? How much you get? -10. How do you write this as a point format? 0, -10. Any questions? Do you remember doing that in your Chantari? The very first thing you start in Chantari should have been this one. Finding slope, x and y intercept. Try one by yourself. Find the slope, x and y intercept in point format. You can just ask your phone. Everybody's fine. So that's very separate. Yeah. What is the name? What do you have? T. So there's A. Did everybody find it? So, did you see the back page? Some of you shouldn't be here. Did you put your name here in this list? Okay. Christopher, is there any Christopher here? Maggie Karaj, Mamado, Melanie, Jared, 2THU, Zena, Zena, Rahim. The department told me to tell you to go to department, and then you need to take 2009. So go to them, and then they will switch you across. Anesthesia, and maybe cardiology. Okay, so if you're not among these, probably you're safe. Probably because we have so many PCalc now. 2001, 2002, 2003, 2009. People don't understand which class to take. So whoever is available for take that, and then when the registrar takes checks for their pre-req, they find so many people don't have pre-req for this course. So registrars keep dropping them, and people are keep adding themselves, which is causing a trouble. So if registrar drops you, that means there is a reason. It definitely should go to the math department, talk to Timothy something, or what was his name? I forgot. Timothy or Evan, EVAM. So if registered drop you go to Timothy something R or Evan Fink. Contact them and they will place you to your proper courses. And register is still checking. So probably they didn't get to you yet if you don't have pre-req. So the bottom line is if register drops you, there is a reason. So do not try get back in the classroom without talking to your talking to the math department. 2001 is 1030 plus trig. 2002 and 2009 are same materials, have PreCalculus, have calculus, but 2009 has longer hours and 2003 has shorter hours. So who's supposed to take which course? I have no idea because there are so many things going on. Okay, about this question, who is ready for slope? Anyone volunteer for slope? Negative A over B. Mm-hmm. 1/3. Perfect. So since it's 1/3, what type of line you think we are supposed to have here? Increasing, decreasing, horizontal, vertical? Increasing. Who is ready for the x-intercept? C over A. 10 divided by 2. 5. And if you write it as a point format, 50. Perfect. Last one, the y-intercept. C over B. 10 over -6. -5 over 3. And as a point format. Perfect. This is my 3. Good job. You guys are doing great today. I'm really happy. You know, before starting this class, my stomach was hurting so badly because I was so nervous. Like, what are you guys going to do? I was thinking, but now I'm feeling hopeful. Like, you're going to do good. I believe. I believe that. Okay, the next topic. Um, Graphing our lines using that slope we just learned. So we can graph our lines many ways. We can use slope and y-intercept. We can use x and y-intercept. And we can also use a bunch of points, plot them, and then connect it a straight line. So this method is for slope and y-intercept. Let's say you know your slope and y-intercept of the line. Or let's say your equation is given into slope-intercept form, y equals mx plus b. Then you can draw the line directly from this information without doing any type of math. What's the ruling? The ruling says first plug your y-intercept on the y-axis. What's wrong with this thing? Just keep blinking out. So first find y-intercept and then plot it on the y-axis. Once you plot that y-intercept, from that y-intercept, walk your slope. How are you going to walk? Using the rules I wrote in red on the bottom. If your numerator is a positive number, from the y-intercept, you're going to go upward. And then if your denominator is a positive number, from that position, you're going to go to your right, and then you plot your next point. Once your 2 points, connect them with a straight line. I have no idea what's wrong with this. Okay, but if you consider the other way around, if you have negative on the top, you're going to go down from the y-intercept, and from that position, if your denominator is also negative, you're going to go to your left. Or whatever, any of these four scenarios, any two of these four scenarios, if you have, just follow the signs and you get your next point, connect with your y-intercept, and you're done. For example, here, we have a line y equals negative 3x minus 2. What is our slope here? Good, it's negative 3, but we want slope as a fraction because we have to work twice, numerator and denominator. Numerator tells us to go up, down, means y direction. Denominator tells you to go left, right, means x direction. So when you don't have a number, you can always put the invisible one and make it visible on the denominator. Now, based on the slope, what do you think? What type of line you are going to draw? A decreasing line. So we already know we're supposed to have a decreasing line. Now, let's see, do we get a decreasing line? We draw our x-axis, y-axis. So x, y. What is this negative 2? Y-intercept. So y equals negative 1, y equals negative 2 here. We draw our very first point on the y-axis. Now from that point, we are going to work our slope. We have negative 3 on the numerator. So which direction? Down 3. And then from that position, right 1. So down 1, down 2, down 3, and then right 1. These are next points. And when you have 2 points, you can just connect them with a straight line. Can I connect? What happened to my ruler? It's not working. This is our line of substitution. It's correct. We know you're going to have a decreasing line. This is also a decreasing line. If you go from your left side to your right side, Is it a fire alarm? Why you didn't tell us anything about that before? Well, it's definitely not a fire. Plus, we don't have time. So unless they come and throw us out, let's see here. So if you walk from left side to right side, you are going down. So it's a decreasing line. Any question? That's how you work our slope. So if your equation is given in slope intercept form, do not do anything. Just use the slope and y-intercept to draw your graph. Let's do one more. We have y equals negative x plus 3. So what is our slope here? Negative 1. And what is this 3? Y-intercept. Now negative on the top means which direction? Down. And positive on the right. Or if you want, you can write it's 1 over negative 1. Therefore, when you have a negative in the front, either that negative you can put on the numerator or you can put on the denominator. It's your choice. So if you do want to put on the denominator, then this means which direction is supposed to go? If the negative in the denominator, which direction? Left. And now you have positive on the top. So which direction? Up. So let's work both. Express the false alarm. See, we are smart. We disregarded that before they told us. Okay, we start with y-intercept 3. Now from that direction, if you walk this direction, we have to go down 1 and then right 1. Down 1, right 1, down 1, right 1. You can walk as many points as you want. Now, if you want to walk the red direction, we can also do so, no problem. We start from our y-intercept and we go 1 up, 1 left. This is our next point. 1 up, 1 left is our another point. So from your y-intercept, you can move to your left, you can move to your right, it doesn't matter. Depending on your sign where you're putting it, you can go either direction or you can walk in both directions. So you connect all these points with a straight line. And that's the line we get from this equation. Oops. Any question? Okay. So we drew the line, and now we are going to learn how to find the equation of the line that goes through 2 points. We already know how to find the slope that goes to 2 points, and now you're going to find the equation of the line that goes to 2 points. There are actually many methods. I think this method is one of the easiest one, where you apply everything into point slope format and then solve for y based on the direction. So our step 1, we definitely need the slope. So we find the slope using our slope formula, y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. And then once you have a slope, we take one of the 2 points and that slope and plugging into our point slope format, because point slope format has a point and the slope. So you just plug in, and then if the direction says write in standard form, means you bring x and y next to one another. And if the direction says write in slope intercept form, means you just solve for y. So depending on the format they want you to write the line, you just go to that direction. But our first step is always same. Find the slope and then substitute the slope and one point into the slope point slope format. Now, in your website, they will actually specify which format they want you to write the equation. Here oh yeah, I did mention. Write your equation in slope intercept form. So let's start finding our slope. Step 1. We need the slope. Y2 minus Y1 over X2 minus X1. So who can tell me what minus what? 2 minus minus 3, that turns into plus. And the denominator, negative 7 minus 8. So what do we have? Same sign, so you keep the sign and you add the numbers. We get 15. Is it reducible? What do we get? Negative 1 over 3, 1/3. So we found our slope. That means the next step is easy. Step 2. We plug x1, y1, and the slope into this format. If you ever forget this format, observe this format is actually same as this one. They are same. This one is our numerator on the left side, and denominator times the slope is our right side. So the point slope format is actually the slope equation, the equation of the slope in a different notation, but they are same. It's an interesting thing. Okay, so help me substituting all these numbers. What is y1? Negative 3. What is the slope we found? Negative 1/3. And what is our x1? X1, 8. You can pick any point. We pick the first one. So y minus minus 3, and then x minus 8 is x1, y1, x2, y2, and our slope is negative 1/3. So double negative, what happens to the double negative? Positive. So we get y plus 3. And can you guess what you're going to do on the right side? Distribute. We are going to add later, but now. So you distribute negative 1/3 of x and negative 1/3 of negative 8. How do you combine negative 1/3 and negative 8 over 1? We have the invisible 1 below negative 8. So y plus 3 equals negative 1/3 x. You multiply numerator with the numerator, denominator with the denominator. So you get positive 8 divided by positive 3. We subtract 3 from both sides. So finally we have our y alone. But how do you combine a fraction with a non-fraction? So this becomes 9/3. It's 9/3 because we have the same denominator 3. So we want to have exact same number on the other one. So we get 1/3 of x. From here, we get +8, -9 divided by 3. So how much is our y-intercept? -1/3. So 1/3 of 3 with a negative sign is our slope, and 1/3 of 3 with negative sign is also our y-intercept. Wow, what a coincidence. Our slope and y-intercept are the same number. Interesting. Any question? No question? Okay, so that's how we find the equation of the line that goes through 2 points. Let's see what do we do next. How do you find the equation of the line that has 1 point and we are given the slope? It's same as the other one. The only difference is this time we don't have to find the slope because they already told us what is our slope. So all you need to do is take it step 2 and you're done. So try that. Find the equation of the line in slope intercept form with the given slope that goes to the given point. So just follow step 2 on the question we just did, and then you're done. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27. Nice. In class, there is no phone, no laptop, please. You're here only for 2 hours, 30 minutes. And it's most important time of your summertime. Okay? So put your phone if you're using it for texting or social media. You can use it to take pictures, I don't mind. But please do not use it to distract you. See, I warned you. We have a very tight schedule, very intensive course. So you should put all your attention here. Unless you want to fail. If you want to fail, you don't have to be here. You can fail automatically. Okay? Ready? Let me know when you are ready. And meanwhile, let me verify your names. Razia. How do you pronounce your name? Razia, right? Riza, Razia. Or here? How do you pronounce it? Razia. Ray, right? Ray or Re? Re. Razia. Hector? Marco? Joanna? It's Joanna, right, J? Joanna. Dianara? Is it Dianara? Gabriela? Oh, 2. Wow. Gabriela M. Naiva or Naiva? Daria? Yeah, last name Daria? Probably stepped out. Oh, we have another lecture. Oh, wow. What a coincidence. 2 Hector, 2 Gabriela. Hector H. Hector B and Hector Z. Z. Okay. So 2 Hectors, right? Okay. Aria. Megan. Megan, right? Maggie or Meiji. Last name Karaj. She registered even though register office dropped it, so she is going to drop anyway. So she is not in the class actually. He has to take 2009. Oh, you guys may lose your friends about 2001 and 2009. Arif, Malwina, right? Oh, it's sound V. Okay. Gabriela D. Mia, Kiara, Dago. What is your last name? Mursalat. Unnecessary. You're supposed to write your last name here, but you wrote your first name. It's okay. Tristan, Prabjot. How do you pronounce it? Right? Prabjot. Rachel, right? Julia, Ritika, Idilia, E or A? Idilia. Fabia, Angelo, Isabella, Steven, Brian, Rahim. So you're moving out, right? Huh? Advisor in the math department or other departments? Both. So they said you can stay, but they sent me multiple emails saying they contacted you multiple times. I should warn you about this. So they said register gonna drop you even though you re-registered. So talk to them and they will fix your issue. Adrian, Shihan, and Kimberly. So guys, definitely take your register throughout the entire day. If they drop you, you should go to the med department or send them an email right away. They will fix your issue. If you wait for later, then you're not going to get money back. Okay, since we already did that, who would like to tell me the answer for this one? Who got the answer? You can just tell me the answer, the final answer. Oh, before that, actually, give me the point format and then the final answer. That would be great. Y minus 1 minus -4, so the transitive positive 4. And now tell me the final answer. Y equals 7 over 2x minus 13. Minus 13 or plus 13? Minus 13. So who got this line, the equation? That means correct, right? I'm trusting you guys. I don't have the answer here. 15? -15. Do any of you have -15? No? Then show me after class, I'll fix it. Okay, parallel perpendicular lines. 2 lines are parallel if they have same slope. For example, see this shape? The left side and the right side, they're parallel. because they have the same distance throughout everywhere, anywhere and everywhere. Between these two parts, we have the same distance between them. So parallel lines, they go to same direction by maintaining the same distance between them. If one line is increasing, its parallel line must be increasing. If one line is horizontal, its parallel line must be also horizontal. If one line is vertical, its parallel line has to be vertical. If one line is decreasing, its parallel line has to be a decreasing line. Even though they look like parallel, but they're parallels, okay? So parallel lines, they have to go toward the same direction by maintaining the same distance to guarantee that we have to have the same slope for both lines. So every parallel lines, 2 lines, 3 lines, 4 lines, 5 lines, it doesn't matter how many parallel lines you have, all of them have to have the same slope. They may have different y-intercepts. They must have different y-intercepts, but they cannot have different slope. They have to have same slope, different y-intercept. On the other hand, perpendicular lines are special types of lines. They intersect one another with a 90-degree angle. Now, to guarantee this 90-degree, to guarantee this 90-degree intersection, we have to have a special types of slope. The special types is they have to have opposite sign. If one is increasing, the other one must be decreasing. And also their numbers, their numbers have to be completely opposite. They have to be flipped. So if one number, let's say 2/3, the other number has to be 3/2. So they have to change their sign because they have opposite direction, and also they have to flip their numbers. Only by maintaining these two conditions, we can guarantee that their intersection will be at a 90-degree angle. Now, one interesting thing is that you can actually verify your perpendicular slope. If you multiply the two perpendicular slope, the result has to give you -1. So if you don't get -1, something is wrong. Your perpendicular slope, what you thought are correct, actually wrong. So we are going to do 2 things. First, we're going to find the slope of the perpendicular or parallel lines. Once you know, next thing we're going to do is find how to write the equation of this parallel line and perpendicular lines. So we are given a line in standard form, ax plus by equals c. We want to know what would be the slope of the line that is parallel to this line. So what do we need from this line? Well, so do you remember from a given line, how do you find the slope? At the beginning of the class, I told you what is slope. -a/b. So what's the slope here? -7/6. So parallel lines, slope of parallel lines. Now these two lines represent parallel lines. They have the same slope. And this is the slope of the perpendicular lines. This symbol is perpendicular because we intersect with a 90-degree. So it's opposite sign and opposite fraction, opposite sign and flipped fraction. So it's called negative reciprocal. opposite sign and flipped number. Simple, right? See, if you can remember the formula for slope, you don't have to do any math. All you have to do is plug in the slope into NB and you already know your slope. Find the same thing for the next line. Find the slope of the parallel line, slope of the perpendicular line. So who is ready? Negative A over B, so negative 5 over negative 8, 5 over 8. So that tells us what the slope of the parallel line. 5 over 8, and slope of the perpendicular line, negative 8 over 5. Simple. So since now we know how to identify the slope of parallel and perpendicular lines, now you're going to learn how do you find equation of the parallel or perpendicular line. And here comes your very fast final exam question. In the final exam question, I noticed that they always give one question for finding parallel or perpendicular equations. Okay, so you definitely should learn this well. Now, may they give you different types of line. They give you in slope intercept form or standard form. It doesn't matter what type of format they give you. The rules are same. Identify the slope of the given line because that's going to tell us what the slope of the parallel or perpendicular line they're asking for. And then once you know your slope, and one point it will always be given. So if you know slope and a point given, all you have to do is that thing we did in last two examples. Substitute everything into point slope format. You do that and solve for y. That's it. So we're not doing any extra hard work. We are finding the slope of the given line. Either this way, or it's already given, we already know what the slope. And then you're going to plug that slope and the point given to us into point slope format. So we are finding two things. First, you're going to find the parallel line. So let's start with parallel line. Question here is, what is the slope of this line? Do you see the slope here directly? Is it given to us? What's the slope? 1 over 4. That means what is the slope of the parallel line? 1 over 4. And that line is going through the x value 6, y value 7. So a parallel line has this information. We plug this information into y minus y1 slope times x minus x1. So what do I write? Y minus what? 7 equals 1 over 4 x minus 6. This is 4. So y minus 7. What do you do on the right side? Distribute. So we get 1/4 of x and then negative 6 times 1/4. What do we get from negative 6 times 1/4? Negative 6/4. Is it reducible? Divided by 2, divided by 2, so it becomes negative 3/2. So we have y minus 7 is 1/4 of x minus 3/2. And now what's the last thing we do? Add 7. So let's add 7 here. And we get y equals 1/4 of x. Now from here, what do we get? Negative 3 plus 7 times 2/2, because we want to multiply and divide by 2 to have the same denominator. So we get negative 3 plus 14/2. That tells us how much we have? Positive 11/2. Let me erase this. Any question? Now, can you find a perpendicular line by yourself? Flipping slope. Sine that. Perpendicular. What will be the slope for the perpendicular? Negative 4, and it goes through the x value 6, y value 7. So find the equation. Y equals over 11/2? No, they have different y-intercept. You have to do everything again. Y minus y1 slope x minus xy. You have to redo the entire math. And then 1 minus 7 equals negative 4 plus 24. And then you add the 7 and then there 1 is negative 4x. How do you want to use this, right? You see, they're completely different from one another. So remember, note this down, write this down, this type of question you're going to do in the final exam. So put this topic in one place. You should collect all the examples I'm going to say will be in the final exam or might be in the final exam. Put them together in one place. So before the final, the last 2 days before the final, all you should do is review all those questions I mentioned, maybe in the final exam. Any question? Okay, so I'm going to skip the next question and go to the next topic. Can I flip my page twice? Now comes the harder topic. It's harder if you don't understand, but it's easy if you do understand the wordings in the word problems. Personally, I hate word problems because it's hard to understand. But if you understand, then it's fine. So most of the time, this type of question comes in the calculator part of your final. So this is your second final exam question. Final. So today we are doing 2 final exam questions. At least your 2 questions down from your 40 questions. Now it says, let's say Atifa, when she studies 30 minutes per day, she scores 170 points on a practice exam. But if she increases her study time to 140 minutes per day, then her score goes down, right? How it's possible? If she studies more, she is getting lower score. Something is wrong. On a different practice exam. Now, it seems there is a linear relationship between the number of minutes she is studying per day versus the exam score she is getting in her exams. What do you think? Which of these will be a best relationship between the study time and the score? So score is represented by S, the study time is represented by M, means minutes. So first of all, what do you observe? If she studies 130 minutes, she gets 470 score. But if she studies 142 minutes, she gets 386 points as a score. So is she getting a positive result or a negative result? Negative result. So definitely our slope should be negative, right? Unfortunately, all of these have negative slope. So we cannot rely on that. And then we need to see the slope. Let's see if these are, S is the Y. Okay. So this is the Y value and this is the X value. X values. From here, how do you find the slope? We have 2 points for Y's, 2 points for X. How do I know these are Y's? You can see here, S is on the left side. And usually in our equation, we have Y equals something. Y equals mx plus b. So this side is Y and this side is X. So S is the Y and X is the S. So what is our slope? How can you find the slope? Y2 minus Y1 over X2 minus X1. Good job. Perfect. So how much we get? Over 12. And now 12 goes to 84. Any idea? Is it 7 times or 8 times? 7 times. 8 times 12 is 96. 7 times 12 is 84. So definitely our answers are from A and C, right? And now all we have to do is find out what is our y-intercept. Is it 1380 or 3420? The y minus y1 equals slope x minus x1. The first numbers are good. They have zeros. So let me stick with the first one. Y minus 470. And then slope is negative 7. X minus 130. Since this is a calculator part, so you're actually allowed to use calculator. Y minus 470. When you distribute, we get negative 7x, positive how much? How much? 910. And then do we add 470 or subtract 470? So 470, 470. So how much is the y-intercept we get? 1380. 1380. Oh, the first one. So this is what you're supposed to do in your exam. Even though you see multiple choice, you cannot just guess it and pick one. You have to do correct work to support your correct choice. So if the work is wrong or the choice is wrong, then you get 0. If your work is correct, choice is correct, then you get full point. If one of them has problem, you get 0 points. No, you have to support your work. Okay, any question on the last one? Okay, another example. A similar one. A movie theater charges $100 per ticket package, and it sells 200 packages per week. So 200 packages per week, but each package is $100. For every $10 increase in the price of the package, the number of packages sold decreases by 5. Find a linear equation supporting this scenario. NP means number of packages sold per week as a function of price. So price is our X value. Price is the X value, and number of tickets is the Y value. Number of tickets or package. Any idea? It charges $100 per ticket package, and it says 200 packages per week. So in 1 week, it sells 200 packages, and each one is cost $100. 20,000 we get from their information. And every $10 increase in the money, the number goes decreased by 5. That actually tells us our slope. Remember, slope is what over what? Change in what? Rise over run. So change in y divided by change in x. So change in y over change in x. And in here, our y is number of tickets divided by our price, the money. So the second line is telling us our slope. $10 increase gives 5 pieces less. So whatever what? But 5 is not the money. The money is supposed to go to the bottom. The money is the X. -5 over 10. So for every $10, we are losing 5 of them. So losing means we are subtracting. So -5 on the top, $10 is the bottom, because we know our X value here is price. How do I know? Because here there says N of P, which the Y value is a model for price in P. So if you connect N of P with F of X means the Y value, where X is our independent variable. So if we connect this with this information, that means P should be your X value and your number should be the Y value. Okay? That's how I figured that out. I related these two information, F of X with N of P. Whatever is inside, that should be the bottom, the denominator. So money is on the denominator and number should be on the numerator. So our slope is how much? -1/2. That means the only thing we need to know is the y-intercept. Find a linear function that models the number of packages sold per week as a function of the price. Okay. So y minus y1, slope x minus x1. Y minus something, slope is -1/2, x minus something. Where do we get this x1 and y1? For every $100, we are selling 200 packages. But 200 packages is per week, right? And this money is for per package. So do you have to do any other extra math? Per week as a function. So $100. Yeah, I'm assuming just 200 is fine. So 200 packages means Y is 200. And then we have $100 per packages. So if we have $100, we are selling 200 packages. And if you increase $10, means $110, you're losing 5 units less. So 195. Yeah, it makes sense. We have 120 for X1 and Y1. Okay, so now all you have to do is solve for Y. We distribute, we get -1/2 x, -1/2 of -100. How much is half of 100? 50. From here, we actually get 50 positive. So we have -1/2 x, positive 50. Let me erase this. And then do we add 200 or subtract 200? Add. So equation is y equals -1/2 of x plus 250. Unfortunately, they did not give us x and y. They told us to use p and n of p. So what is this y? How do we write this y? N of p equals -1/2 of? What do we replace x with? P plus 250. I looked at the last one. The last one says find the linear function n of p that models the number of packages sold per week as a function of the price. So n of p reminds me of the function notation f of x. N of p and f of x, if you connect them, if you relate them, this p is the x, and n of p is the y, because f of x is the y. So price is a function, price is the independent variable, and your package is the dependent variable. That's what it defines. Because that is the slope because they give us the ratio. Slope is a ratio. So $10 decrease means -10x, when x is -10. When, so $10 increase means constant as x, and you're decreasing 5 units, means y is going down by 5. So minus y over x minus 5 over R10. That's how we got our slope. So once here is slope, we can use our formula. So the first one telling us our x value is 100, because that's the price, and our y value is the unit, that's 200. So if you understand, then it's easy to figure out. But the tricky part is understanding all the information. I hate this, to be honest. I hate word problems. Unfortunately, yeah, in the final exam, we are going to see these type of questions. So save it for the last one. 2 or three questions in your entire final exam. One definitely from linear, one definitely from we are going to what you learned in your 1030 investment. Do you remember compound interest? Yeah. So definitely one question of compounding interest and definitely one question of the linear model. That's definitely 2 word problems. And the rest, I forgot. I have to check. Okay, so we are done with section 1.3. By the way, I will not go by section because I'm putting all the information that are related to one another. So in your homework, check all the sections. Maybe the 1.3 information is not under 1.3, but it's under other section. Like the web sign topics are different than my topics. So check for every. You're going to do all the homework anyway, right? So when you do the homework, maybe those topics may not match with my topics here. This is what I'm telling you. So when you do the homework, go to all the slides, all the information I have here. One of them, you'll find the information. Oh, class, there's so many information we have in our website. I definitely cannot go over every topic. I only pick the most important ones, and whatever you find unfamiliar, you have to study by yourself. Okay? That's what I said. This summer, these 5 weeks will be very intensive because you're going to learn by yourself half of the materials, and I'm going to teach you the other half of the materials. I cannot possibly teach you everything in 2001. Any questions before we move on to our next set of informations? Any questions? Comments? Any complaints so far? What do you think so far? Am I going too fast or it's okay to? It's okay. Great, great. So the next set of important topics for our final exam. Oh, never mind, these are the final exam. So we are going to do functions and function notations. So if you take 1030, this is section 3.6 in 1030. All about functions. So what is a function? A function is a mathematical relationship where every input has exactly one output. Basically, for every one x value, you have only one y value. So you cannot have the same x value more than once. If you have the same x value more than once, then it's not a function. In order to be a function, you have to have only one x and one y. I mean, not one y. Definitely one x, and every x has their own y. Or same y, it doesn't matter. But our x cannot be same. Now, first thing you're going to study something fun, a graph. If you are given a bunch of graphs, how do you know which of these represent function and which of do not represent function? It's easy. All you have to do is draw a vertical line through the graph and count how many intersections you have. If the vertical line you drew touches your graph more than once, it's not a function. For example, let's say you have a graph like this. If you draw a vertical line through anywhere, that vertical line crosses the graph only once, so it is a function. On the other hand, let's say you have a graph like this, or like this, like my name, S. Let's say you have a graph with S. So if you draw a vertical line through this graph, how many intersections you see? So is it a function? No. See, 1, 2, 3. In order to be a function, you can cross only once. So basically, it's like in your life, you can make only one mistake and still you'll be fine. If you make more than once, you're out. Same thing here. If you intersect more than once, you are out from being a function. You can cross once to be a function, but more than once, you're done. Okay, let's do a few more fun examples. What do you think about the first one? No. Because see, you're crossing twice, you're bad. How about the next one? Yes. See, once. The next one. Yes. You can draw anywhere. I'm just picking a random position, but you can choose your position anywhere, and you see the vertical line has to cross only once. And how about our increasing line, the bottom? Yes. One intersection. The upside down parabola. Yes. A horizontal line. Yes. And how about a vertical line itself? Good job. No, because if you draw the vertical line, that vertical line, my vertical line and the given vertical line has to be the same vertical line. So they are touching one another infinitely many times, not only once. Okay, so we got smarter by learning which graphs are functions, and now we're going to learn which equations are functions. Not every time we will be given our graphs. So we have to be even more smarter. Which equations we're dealing with are function. Well, why do you care about function in the first place? Function has some good characteristics which we would like to work with. They make our life smoother, nicer, and easier. So we want to work with equations that are functions, trying to deal with them. Non-functional, we don't want to deal with them. One of the other reason is that function, never mind. We're going to say it later. So which equations are functions? There are two methods, the formal method and the shortcut method. The formal method says there are two conditions. The first condition, you can be able to solve for y. For example, if you are given xy square plus x square y cube minus xy equals minus x equals, let's say 5, solving, or let's say square root of y. Like solving for y will be hard here because there are so many y's with so many different powers, so many things. So probably this is not a function. So condition 1, you can be able to solve for y. If you can be able to solve for y, then that y equals should be only one equation, a positive or a negative. For example, y equals mx plus b. See, here's only one type of x, positive x or negative x. Positive x here, because it's a positive m. Or let's say y equals x squared. It's only one number, positive x squared. So if you can solve for y and you get y equals only one type of sign, then it's a function. And then if you have different types of sign, then it's not a function. For example, x squared plus y squared, x squared minus y squared equals, let's say, 5. Then we get y is x squared minus 5 another square root with a plus minus sign. This definitely is not a function because we have a plus minus sign. For one x, we have two types of y. One is positive y, one is negative y. So we cannot have that. That's the formal method. Now, you see, our life is short, right? Only 5 weeks. Plus, we are too lazy to do all the hard stuff. So there's a shortcut, and it's a good shortcut. All you need to do is, in your equation, observe the y's. If your y has even power, then, or if you don't see any y at all, then the equation you have is a bad one. It's not a function. But if your y have odd powers, then it's a function. So only observe the y. Odd y means good one. Even y or no y means bad. It's not function. Okay, for example, we have y equals x squared. What's the power on the y we have? 1. Is 1 odd or even? Odd. So y have odd powers. Is it a function? Yes. See, we didn't care about what else we have. We only look at the y. How about the next one? Still it's a function because we have y with an odd power. So our life is smooth. Y equals 8. What do you think? Yes. Because we still have y with odd. So yes. In reality, this is a parabola. So you see it passes the vertical line test. This is a decreasing line. It passes the line test. And this is a horizontal line. It also passes the line test, vertical line test. So see, without even looking at the graph, just by observing the equation, we already know which one of these are function and which one is not. Okay, D, x equals 8. Why not? No, why? Good. No, because there is no y. If you don't see any y, it's definitely not a function. And also, x equals 8 is actually a vertical line. Is a vertical line a function? Nope. The next one, x squared plus y squared equals 1. So it's again no, because y has even power. And in reality, this is a circle with radius 1. So see, it fails the vertical line test. You don't have to know the graph. I'm just drawing the graph because I know their graphs, that's why. And how about the last one? Y to the 6 equals 1. Why not? Even power. And I don't know its graph. Y to the 6 equals 1. I have no idea. Okay, any question? No question? Okay. Now, since we know which equations represent function, so we are going to work more with the function. First, we start with function notation. You see, all of them, they have x and y on all these examples, but not all of them are functions. So if we give someone else some equations, how would they know that I gave them an equation? Sorry, I give them a function or not? Probably they don't know my shortcut rules, okay? So if they forgot their shortcut rules, or if they didn't even learn the shortcut rules because I invented that, I figured that out. So if they don't know or if they forgot, then how do they know that they're dealing with function? Well, mathematician invented a clever method. They said, don't use y if it's a function. Just use f of x for y. If you see f of x, it's automatically you know that the thing you have the equation is a function. For example, y equals mx plus b. We know it's a function, right? Because it's a line. Now, if others don't know, don't use y. Just tell them f of x is mx plus b. So when they see f of x, they're like, oh, f of x means f is a function. So they know That thing we have the equation is a function. Also, let's say y equals x squared. This example here. We know it's a function, but others may not know it's a function. So if you tell them f of x is x squared, now they will know, oh, this thing here we have is a function. Okay, so we replace y with f of x to tell others that that thing we have is a function, so our life is easier to work with that. So y and f of x, they're the exact same thing. They just look different, but they're the same thing. Y is f of x is the y. Not only f of x, g of x, h of x, all these represent a function. Now, when you have a function, obviously we want to know if x is given, how to define the y's. So evaluating function. It's simple. You replace every x with the given x values given to us and then simplify. For example, they're telling us f of x is 10x squared plus 4x minus 1. Even though they did not tell us what is our, this is an equation or this is a function or not, but we know it's a function because we have f of x there. So they told us f of x is 10x squared plus 4x minus 1, and they want us to find f of -2. Means when x is -2, what's the y value in your function? Now we know it's a function. So for every x, it's supposed to have only one y. So what is that one y value we have if I give you the x value 2, -2? So what we do is we replace every x we see into the function by -2. So we keep our structure same. We just replace x with the parentheses -2. And then we use pandas. Did you hear the expression pandas? What is P? No, no problem. So pandas. It's the order of operation. P means parentheses. E means exponents, means power. M means multiplication. D means division. A means, and then S means subtraction. So definitely parentheses and exponent comes first. And then based on multiplication and division, whichever comes first, you apply that. And between addition and subtraction, whichever comes first, you apply that. So addition, subtraction, and multiplication, division, they are the priority, whichever comes first. But for PE, always start with parentheses if it's simplificable, and then use your power if you have any power. So here we have 10 times -2 square. So do we do 10 times -2 first or -2 square first? So we keep our 10, and how much we get from -2 square? +4. Great. So panda says parentheses and exponents. So we did that first. Square means multiply your base twice. So -2 times -2. And then you have a multiplication here. What do we get from this multiplication? -8. And we bring down the -1. So now we have a straight multiplication. 4 times 10, 40. And -8 minus 1, -9. So 31. That means when our x value is -2, we have only one y value, that is 31. This is what it means. They give us x, we substituted, we found the y value. We wouldn't have done that if it wasn't a function. For function, maybe we have two y values. We didn't know. So you have two y values, you have to work separately 2 times to get both y values. So let's do, you're going to see this in your homework. So let's also do that. F of x is 10x squared plus 4x minus 1. They want you to find f of h minus 2. So every x you see, you replace them by h minus 2. H minus 2. Now h minus 2 is not a number, right? So you don't get a number from there. Instead, we get an expression. H minus 2 times h minus 2. This is what square means. And here we get 4 times h, 4 times minus 2 by distributing, and we have our minus 1. Now here you're going to do FOIL, blah, 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 blah. Once you do FOIL, you're going to multiply by 10. The result will be h squared minus 4h plus 4. You multiply by 10 each. You get 4h minus 8 minus 1. I'm doing it real quick because we don't have enough time. So distribute by foiling, multiply the 10. The result should be whatever I have here. So we get 10h squared minus 40h plus 40 plus 4h minus 9. Do we have any like terms to combine? 40h. So what's the total? Plus 31. So we did not get a number for our y. Instead, we get an expression. Because the thing they gave us is just not a number. They gave us a variable. So y we were supposed to have the variable. And that is one of the part of the difference quotient we are going to learn later. So for now, we are up to here. And it's a very long chapter, section 1.3 to 1.9. We're going to cover everything. So you're going to have a very busy week. Monday is your chapter 1 homework due. So my plan is to go over everything from chapter 1 in this week. And Thursday, I'm going to tell you Wednesday, I'm going to tell you what your quiz will be on Thursday. So have a good day, everyone. Enjoy doing your homework. And if register office drops you, remember to go to the math department. Bye-bye. Good morning.